Hey Pyros, Valmir here at the Elite Fireworks. We got an amazing video for you guys, and of course it is a top 5 video, but rather than recommending you the top 5 products when it comes to artillery shells, cakes, or anything like that, in this video we're actually going to showcase the top 5 mistakes that you are making when purchasing artillery shells. So this type of mistakes, you see them all over the country, so it's not specific to only customers who shop at one of our locations, but matter of fact, anywhere from the East Coast all the way to the West Coast, where there's fireworks retailers around the nation, you do notice this mistakes that customers are making them. And to be honest with you, some of these things are not everything your fault, because for those customers who are not very educated when it comes to fireworks, you definitely fall for some of these marketing gimmicks, right? So let's start with number 5, and of course the first 3 that I'm going to mention. So for instance, number 5, number 4, and number 3, they can be set basically for a lot of different items. So it doesn't really have to be just artillery shells. It could be for assortments or anything really around the store. However, though, the last 2 are very specific to artillery shells, and for most part I would say canisters, right? But number 5, guys, of course I have to say this, and this one falls for any type of product. It doesn't even have to be artillery shells. It has to be the buy one get one or get 2 gimmicks, right? So it is an industry standard that there's going to be the gimmick of buy one get one, buy one get 2, and so on, where as a customer, retailers make you feel better because you are getting something for free. Now here at the Elite Fireworks of New Hampshire, so we are new to 365 days a year operating retail store. The funny thing is the amount of people that we've had through the doors after July 4th, that they'll come in and, do you guys have any specials where you have 50% off now that it's off season, or do you have buy one get 2 specials, or stuff like that. So the amount of customers, because you got to understand, even for us here, we are new to this area, so a lot of the retailers that it seems in the East Coast, you know, the buy one get one gimmick seems to be very, very popular. But then again, so is it in Texas and many different states. But guys, most places, and it's, of course you're going to see it even with artillery shells. I mean, for instance, you might have an item such as, let's just say, I'm going to use as an example, King Dragon, right? There's fireworks stores that are going to say buy one get one for $250 or $300 or whatever the case is, right? Obviously, you never get something for free. If the deal sounds too good to be true, you don't. But the thing you got to understand, a lot of people don't understand this, is just because this is the industry standard that a lot of people are used to. And of course, when you don't know, you got to understand, when you buy fireworks, most people, so obviously if you're watching this video, most likely you're a fireworks guy. Fireworks guys don't fall to these gimmicks just because you have a passion, you've done your research. But if you happen to stumble on this video and this is your first time buying fireworks or something like that, just hopefully this will be a good guidance. Even if you don't shop with us, it's a great guidance, because these gimmicks do happen all over the country. Now number 4, it's gonna basically connect with number 5, and that is, guys, if a store offers bulk discounts, always it's a better deal to go ahead and take it. And what I mean by that is, for instance, if there's fireworks stores that give you bulk discounts if you buy in volume. So for instance, as an example, right now we're a little bit limited on inventory, but let's just use on Peacock Spider, right? So we sell one individual unit for $104, but if you buy the box kit, they come out at $70.28 a unit. Same thing right here. If we are to look at it with Brave New World, it comes out at $67.47 a unit. So it's $270 for the whole box kit, but you definitely save. So that's why I say this one kind of does connect with if you are able to avoid number 5, you know, the BOGO deals, because as I mentioned, something like this, a store might sell it buy one get one for $200, $250, $300. But if a retailer offers you case pricing, definitely typically that's usually when you get a much better deal. And typically, if you want to look at case pricings on items, you definitely want something that, because there's companies, don't get me wrong, they do offer case pricing, but if the discount is not much, let's just say if you're buying the case, you're not getting more than, I'll say 15, 20, 25% discount, I don't think it's worth it, because most likely you will be able actually to find a place that they're going to have better deals, right? All right, so moving on from number 4, now we have number 3, which of course is something that a lot of people do fall guilty of it, and that is always buying the same item. So to be honest with you guys, there's one item, of course, we all know this, that's the best-selling canister, but of course it's for a reason, and that is the Excalibur, right? So when it comes to Excalibur, don't get me wrong, when it comes to world class, they have the best tubes in the industry, just because they do provide HDPE tubes within their canister shells. So for instance, right now we don't have the regular Excalibur, but I'm glad that World Class actually made the Excalibur Platinum, something different, right? Still has the big name of the Excalibur, but specifically I'm talking about, like, for instance, items like the Excalibur. The amount of people, for instance, in general, and this is throughout the country, Excalibur is the #1 selling canister in the nation, just because it's everywhere. But you must understand, guys, there's a lot of shells nowadays, and there's a lot of good shells. Now, don't get me wrong, the selection that you are seeing right now, which, by the way, I am right now in the New Hampshire store, which is limited. So we're going to have another 50, 60 more 60-gram canister shells. So right now there's roughly, between all the 60-gram canisters, there's roughly, I would say, about 75, but we're going to get close to the 120, 130 mark, hopefully by the upcoming New Year's season. But don't get me wrong, don't look at the Elite Fireworks specifically, where we have one of the largest canister selections in the nation. I mean, guys, we have the death shell here. It's just another shell in our amazing selection. Most places, if they carry the death shell, that's like, wow, they're gonna start promoting that. But for us, it's just another shell. There's nothing special about it, right? But at the end of the day, is there's people that they've just gotten used, they've only use that one specific shell. They claim that that's the best one, but to be honest with you guys, if you didn't have the opportunity to test out different shells, how would you know what is the best? Because after all, the thing about it is, videos, sure, you do watch videos on specific items. Let's just say, as an example, you're going to see Full Speed Fireworks by Brothers online, and you might check Brave New World. From a video, you are not really going to be able to tell a lot of, to differentiate them so much, just because there's a lot of components that it's very difficult to compare, right? When on that video, whenever they shot this item, what were the weather conditions? Where was it shot, right? Because there's sometimes you hear some shells, as an example, but they're shot in a wide open space or near a lake where it echoes more, so it sounds louder. And of course, when it comes to product videos, you also have to worry about, are the people behind who put that product in that video, did they alter the video? Did they make it sound louder? Did they actually change the colors? So that's the thing. Without actually getting the opportunity to actually try many of the items you want to shoot, you just don't know. So this one is a very important one for me. Now, another one. So this is now number 2. Number 2, for instance, with this one, and it depends on which stage of how involved you get with fireworks, because if you're just stumbling into this video and you just started off, obviously this one might not be for you now, but definitely if you want to elevate your game, it's highly recommended. So number 2 is, a lot of people fail to elevate their game when it comes to canisters. You must understand. So for instance, most of the people do not buy with cases, right? So if you buy with a case, as an example, if we look at packing heat as an example here, you get 3 24 packs. So each one has 4 individual tubes. So you're going to get 12 tubes if you buy the case. But most of the time, people are not buying the whole box kit. So most people, you are going to buy a 24 pack, which you're going to get only 4 tubes. So launching one at a time, it's a little bit repetitive. Don't get me wrong, you get the flexibility, unlike cakes where you light it one time and it does the show. But if you want for finales and elevate your games, stuff that we highly recommend. And again, if you shop at Elite Fireworks, great, we got it, or you live near us. But these specific feedback, these specific details that I'm sharing with you guys, you know, they can apply to any fireworks retailer from East Coast to West Coast, from the South to the North, no matter what. So always, 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 if there's retailers that specialize on the fireworks community, as we do here at Elite Fireworks, take advantage and maybe buy a rack. So for instance, this is a 24 shot display rack. There are all HDPE DR11 standard 1.92 inch wide and 12-inch tubes. We also sell the 15-inch tubes, so but this will allow you to elevate your game when it comes to shooting artillery shells, and highly recommend this, for instance, especially if you are buying canisters. If you are buying just small ball shells, for instance, some of the basics such as the Black Hat 12 shots or any of these 6-shot shells such as Festival Ball and you name it, right? You're fine without it. But if you're buying a 24 pack or you're buying the whole box kit, it's recommended. Now, why we recommend this is because it can elevate your finale, especially in the finale. It's highly recommended one way or another if you're doing a big show. Of course, if you have a very big budget, you can just go with no abs, which we have them right over there, but it can get expensive. So this is your cheaper alternative, and plus you get to keep the rack. So for instance, if you want to shoot stuff extremely fast, you have your quick fuse. So roughly a quarter second per foot. This one, roughly 30 seconds per foot. So it's extremely slow. We got it perfect for 10 seconds per foot. And then this one, although it looks pink, it's actually 2 seconds per foot. But the point being, you can get a completely unique show and experience rather than shooting them one by one. Let's move on to number one, because number one is not as pretty because, of course, guys, it is the biggest marketing gimmick that our industry fools customers. And this is something that you are making a mistake whenever you're shopping for canisters, guys. Guys, you can go from anywhere from the East Coast all the way to the West Coast, anywhere from the South all the way to the North. Majority of our industry is guilty of this marketing gimmick, and that is, guys, a bigger shell is a better shell. And what I mean by that is, guys, it's the biggest gimmick, and there's national companies that they stand behind this so much, and they, let's just put it this way, they just lie straight to their customers that a bigger shell is a better shell. And guys, the example here that I have is, of course, any of these canister shells could be a great example, because majority of them, if we look at this one, Minecraft, 60 gram max load, 5-inch gorgeous mine to break, right? 6-inch wow factor, okay? Now, all of these canisters right here, they're all up to 60 grams. Don't get me wrong, there's some canisters that claim that they are up to 60 grams, but realistically they're not. So that's why you notice a difference in quality when it comes to certain canisters. But guys, it is a massive marketing gimmick to upsell customers that the all-new 5-inch super shell. So this is a 5-inch shell is a better shell than a 4-inch shell because it's bigger. A 7-inch shell is better than a 5-inch shell because it's bigger. No, guys. And the best way, so what I'm going to do is I'm actually going to link the video on the description where we actually did a good test of this gimmick just to show you. So what we did actually here at Elite Fireworks, so we took a 4-inch shell, I believe it was the Diablo 24 by Black Hat. Okay, this is a 4-inch shell, one of my favorite shells. We took a 6-inch shell from Brothers, so it was Maelstrom, I believe so. And then, just so we don't sound biased, we actually did go ahead and take one of our own canister shells, and it was a 5-inch shell. And what we did, of course, this is a YouTube channel for entertainment purposes, so we highly don't recommend you do that, but we did that just to show to the customers. We open each one of them, and what you actually happen to find inside, guys, in order for 60 grams, there's a standard, most of the canisters out there, they're 3" and 3/4 inner tube, right? So what I mean by saying inner tube, I don't mean specifically there's an inside tube that carries, but inside of that, so for instance, approximately of the whole 5" shell here as an example, approximately 3" and 3/4 are actually filled with powder, clay, and all the components for the actual canister, but the rest is hollow. So for instance, for the 4" it was barely hollow. For the 5" there was roughly just over an inch, and then for the 6" it was just over 2 inches. So nowadays there's 7". Don't get me wrong, even with us, we carry Brothers and they do have it. It's a 7" canister shell, right? But if you come shop to Elite Fireworks, we are not upselling you because you are buying more cardboard. Matter of fact, we are honest with you. And a lot of the fireworks community loves this, but you gotta understand, a lot of the fireworks community does not shop at Elite Fireworks, or at least they do not shop at Elite Fireworks yet. That being said, there's so many fireworks companies that just straight up lie to their customers and let them know that a bigger shell is a better shell, because at the end of the day, guys, it's all about the chemistry inside of the fireworks. It's not about the marketing gimmicks. If we look at our hydro bomb, for instance, that's why we really try to educate our customers. Or we look at hydro bomb's details on the front, or for instance, our ginger shell. You have some of the basic information, but guys, it's 5" tall. So that's what we are trying to say. And then if you look at it, the back, we say it's 1" and 3/4 wide. Now, that's the industry standard. To an uneducated customer, when they hear it's a 5", 6", 7" shell, they are thinking they must have bigger brakes, so it must be better. But at the end of the day, guys, don't forget 60 grams is 60 grams. But anyway, guys, thank you so much for this video. So let me know in the comments below, what did you guys think of this? I know some of the first couple tips really do count for anything in fireworks, not just artillery shells. The last two specifically, and mostly focusing with canister shells, I think are very important, just because it is a major gimmick when it comes to fireworks. But anyway, guys, thank you so much, and we'll see you guys in another video right here on our channel. Bye-bye.